Since every Muslim on the planet contends that Islam is a perfect and faultless religion which delivers indisputable answers to questions on life and other issues, today we want to turn the tables around and give the burden of proof on all Muslims to answer 6 basic questions. However, we know from dealing with the Koran that it states that all ye who believe ask not questions about things which, if made plain to you, may cause you trouble. Some people before you did ask such questions, and on that account lost their faith. Surah 5, 101, 102. We have asked some questions we have to ask every black Muslim. These are the questions. Is the Quran inspired? Who taught you about Islam? Why has Islam not apologized for its crime of colonizing and enslaving black people? Is the Kaaba an idol? Was ancient Egypt black or Asiatic? Who created the Middle East and the countries found in the Middle East, and why? Muslims claim that the Quran was from God, and the proof is that it contains scientific information that is accurate about many other topics. But we want to look at embryology, because the Quran in Surah 86:7 says that the sperm originates from the backbone and the ribs, a theory that is similar to a well-known erroneous theory that was proposed by hypocrites 1,000 years before Islam. Hypocrites taught that semen comes from all the fluid in the body, diffusing from the brain into the spinal marrow before passing through kidneys and via the testicles into the penis. So to our black Muslim brothers and other Muslims, how do you answer if we say because of that error, the Quran is not inspired? Because it is not inspired, it is an error. Again, if you go to this website that is given here, you will find that Allah does not know that the woman has an egg. It purports that human is just a fertile field, and that the sperm is the one that produces life. Because of that, if you read this surah, we say the Quran is not inspired. Is it inspired? How do you answer that? Another scientific error that is in the Quran to prove that it is not inspired is about the origins of the universe. It says Allah created the earth in 4 days in Surah 41, 9 and 10. But we all know that scientific proof has shown that the earth itself is made 4 billion years old. Again, when you look at the structure of the earth, where we are, as well as the space, it says, do you not see that Allah restrains the sky from falling upon the earth? Quran 22:65. This was stolen straight away from Africa, where they taught this of Shu, Tefnut and God supporting the heavens. Who taught you about Islam? If you watch our video, Islam is not a natural African religion, you will discover the sequence and the proof that Islam is not for any melanin dominant human being. But we find that a lot of our brothers are following this religion. When we look at it from timeline perspective, we know that animism, which is an African traditional belief system, is more than 3 million years old. And the Quran is only after death 622. It says Jonny came late. So why would you follow a new religion that came by conquest and enslavement, leaving our ageless African system, which is the oldest belief system in the world, with a central belief that a spirit or an animating force is in everything that is found on the earth? Who taught you about Islam? If you are a black Muslim in America, it's more likely that a man called Master Farad, who founded the Nation of Islam, was a white man. Master Farad and the Nation of Islam, which was founded by him around 1930, juxtaposed Marcus Garvey's philosophies, black militancy, and African nationalism with Noble Drew Ali's Islamic theology, and built what is known today as the Nation of Islam. But who taught them? Master Farad, who talked about the Asiatic man who ruled the earth 76 trillion years ago. So the pale Arab or European taught you this religion, your enslaver. Why has Islam not apologized for its crime of colonizing and enslaving black people? Because we know that before Europeans began exploiting melanin dominant human beings from Africa in the transatlantic slave trade, The roots of the slave trade had begun already in North and Northeast Africa around the 7th century up until today. Why has Islam not apologized for enslaving melanin-dominant human beings? Arabs raided African villages along the eastern coast and sold them to European merchants. What had melanin-dominant human beings done to be treated that way? Do you agree it was an unprovoked chattel, a system of enslavement based on race and class? Just like today, you could be a black Muslim. You are in the same category with all those brothers that sold our brothers into slave trade. You are just like Tipo Tip. You might be scholarly and academic and smart about it, and you are not selling your brothers, but as long as you are a member, you are following Tipo Tip and all other black Africans who sold their brothers into slavery. No difference. Why has Islam not apologized for its crime? Because their military conquest was based on race superiority. If you read their philosophers and their thinkers, they say a black person is a subhuman. You cannot dispute that. There is a lot of evidence about that. And that's how they also behave. Arab Libyans enslaved sub-Saharan African migrants trying to escape Black Africa through Libya's Mediterranean ports. Gaddafi himself owned slaves, black slaves. In many North African countries, slavery is still going on. And why are Muslims quiet? Why are they not apologizing? Because of race superiority. And our brothers that follow this religion is because of race inferiority and a desire to fit and a desire to be accepted. That's why they cannot apologize or criticize. Islam worships idols, but they go all the world and they teach that they can not, and they are monotheistic. It's very interesting, really. In Islam, idol worship is prohibited, but still Muslims bow down in the direction of the Kaaba 5 times a day. And their prophet used to kiss the black stone. Isn't it ironic and irrational for them to condemn others while they do the same practices? Why do they have the Kaaba? That's the question you have to ask. Is it not idolatry? This question has been asked, and one Muslim scholar, Tabara, wanted to answer it, but he fell right into the ditch. In his book, The Spirit of Islam, he says Muslims do not worship the black stone. This is a lie. Here is how it is a lie. But only show special reverence and veneration for its dignity. A stone has dignity and reverence. The same with my ancestors that I worship. The same with Mother Mary that this Pope is worshipping. So why do you go then around condemning others while you have a stone that you reverence? And you say you are doing it for an example because the prophet in the covenant with God did so. So you are obeying his will and you want to avoid disobedience. If you focus on Tabara's key phrase of showing reverence and veneration to the black stone, my question is, do you see any difference then between the Muslim kissing the black stone and reverencing it and venerating it with the Catholic practice of the Pope kissing the statue of Mary and reverence it and venerate it? Which one is idolatry there? Since Islam was copied and grafted from all other traditional belief systems that predate it like Hamid, you find that they copy exactly what our ancestors did. The Islamic practice of Salat, 5 daily prayers, was stolen from a concept of 5 daily meditations practiced throughout Africa thousands of years before Islam was a figment in any Arab's imagination. Same story. Was ancient Egypt black or Asiatic? It was black. Well, of course, we give them the chance to answer. The Sphinx tells the story from Amara-Imhotep. Shows clearly that the Sphinx looks exactly like a black African woman. This is the mummy of a small child that is estimated to be around 3,500 years old and was discovered on an excavation at the Theban necropolis near Luxor, the capital city of ancient Kemet. The features are quite obvious. It's a melanin-dominant human being, not Asiatic. This is also from Amara-Imhotep. There never was a place on earth called the Middle East or Arab land. So who created the Middle East and Middle Eastern countries? Let's discover who did that. And then once we discover who did that, then we know the identity of modern pale Arabs. Those in all Northeast Africa are invaders because France and the United Kingdom created the Middle East. For thousands of years before European geography, there was no Middle East. It was all Africa. So today, the invaders are still there, pretending to be the owners of those lands. In looking at this, let's conclude by looking at answering our questions ourselves. Is the Quran inspired? The answer is no. Who taught you about Islam? Whether you're a nation of Islam or someone else, it is the enslaver, colonizer, the pale Arab. Why has Islam not apologized for its crime of colonizing and enslaving black people or melanin-dominant human beings? Because of their subtle white supremacy ideology. Is the Kaaba an idol? Yes, there are no ifs or buts. I worship idols. I worship my ancestors. I worship divinities. I worship the Creator. Who all these for me is, and no one on earth can claim not to worship or bow down or reverence an idol. If you're an atheist and you've got a laptop, you are worshiping that. You love something. Was ancient Hamid black or Asiatic? No, it was not Asiatic. It was black or melanin dominant. Who created the Middle East and for what reasons? It was created by Europeans for the sake of controlling the whole of Africa. Now, yes, you may ask why, if melanin dominant human beings received the true knowledge of the Creator, the real Creator, why they are at the bottom and being bamboozled by these Jonny led religions. Why the Creator and divinities and ancestors are not intervening in our lives. What is the point of worshipping them? Exactly, these are good questions. The answer is that you are not supposed to worship the nameless, unseen, genderless, non-being, non-spirit Creator. You are supposed to cultivate the character which the divinities and righteous ancestors find suitable. Then and only then will they choose to use you as their vessel to implement Ma'ati or Rois fate. And then in that process, you will be able to defeat your enemies physically and spiritually. And eventually bring goodness to yourself and to the earth. The ancestors and the divinities only work with those who first empower themselves. In fact, they do not care for the meek. They are actually repelled by the meek and the weak, which is why the meek are the ones that suffer greatly across all of human history. They gave us the power to achieve any of our ambitions. But instead, we neglect this inherent power and allow others to beat us like dogs. The Creator only loves those who use the power He gave them via the divinities. If you want to learn more about such doctrines, send us an email on join@marfado.com. Because it is time we ask these pertinent questions to every black Muslim, as well as a Muslim, any Muslim. For us, melanin-dominant human beings, we need to reform our lives and start utilizing our inherent divine power correctly and appropriately. I hope we are on that track. Subscribe to our channel, Community Brew Ethics. This picture by LM Tumizulu, Hamaneja Topi, Kunikeni, Mjakanja, Iskabani. Till we meet again. Salani Katle, Siabonga, Enkos, Edupe, Asante Sana.